Alright, what's going on guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. In today's video, we're going to be going over an honestly interesting challenge mode fight that's probably up there with one of my favorites, and it's funny because of multiple things. So the challenge mode that we're going to be talking about is Mr. Montgomery. Mr. Montgomery, you do fight initially in one of the dungeons towards the end of the arc. Now his regular fight is honestly not that hard. I did it with two people, just literally me and Edak, and it was literally a breeze. So you shouldn't have issues with the regular mode, but there is a challenge mode, and it resembles one of y'all's favorites PvPers that are up in the community, Liam. And honestly, you can interpret this fight many ways. You can be like, well, the dev that designed this boss is called Stormbringer, and the premise of the fight is the boss is bringing storm. So you could argue that too, but honestly, it's a funnier concept if you say it's named after Liam. There's reasons behind that, so we'll talk about the whole premise of how to do this fight. Pretty easy. I mean, it's still kind of like tedious, but it's still fun to just talk about. So I'll give you guys all my thoughts around this and how to do this fight whenever it does come into live round. If you do enjoy this type of content, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that type of stuff, and join Discord if you guys haven't. I appreciate all the people that have been joining the Discord, watching all the videos, been posting a lot more than like a lot of these people. So hey, I'm on that grind, man. I'm on the grind. So let's talk about Mr. Montgomery. Now, Mr. Montgomery, or Liam, we can call him, essentially buffs Storm every single round, and he will double his blades at the end or at the beginning of every round. So he will non-stop blade himself constantly. So his one blade turns into two blades, into four blades, into like literally non-stop buffing himself like crazy, like to the point where he does D-lances, bubbles, auras, literally everything up the alley he will do at any cost to buff Storm. He needs the power to buff his Storm hits. Now at the end of the round, he will hit you with a Storm Lord every single round, right? So the whole premise of the fight is you have to survive and you have to nerf Storm. It's really a funny concept. There's so many ways you can interpret this fight, but how I am interpreting it is it's Liam, he's trying to buff Storm, and we're over here nerfing Storm. So what we're doing is we're spamming weaknesses, we're spamming dispels, we're spamming vampires, we're turning those infections into minus 60 Storm weaknesses, we're using deadly depths with the school pip, we're using everything at our arsenal to nerf Storm. So it's honestly a really funny concept. Honestly, it's just so funny. Like I said, you can interpret this many ways, but that's honestly how you do the fight. Now it gets really ramped up fast, and you guys are probably wondering, well, how am I supposed to kill him, right? If I'm just spamming weaknesses, I'm not getting anywhere. Now the reason behind that is Mr. Montgomery wants you to survive 7 rounds because he keeps telling you, hey, you do not have the power, you cannot take it from me, right? Because I have the power of Storm, right? I am just a god. And yes, you can Scald Incendiate. From this fight, I feel like he has almost like 100 resist or even more, due to the fact that I literally was using Jins. I was testing out things like, oh, I could just Jin, right? I even tried convictions and stuff like that. You can stun resist the Storm Lords, but you just take so much damage. So there's that. So the fight ramps up pretty quickly if you aren't spamming weaknesses on this fight, if you aren't turning infections into weaknesses, or if you are not turning his blades into weaknesses. Basically anything you have to change into weaknesses. You do not want him to have buffs. So you're having like 3 people just non-stop doing debuffs, and the last person is always going to spam a dispel. The dispel is mainly for that Stormlord, because if you take that Stormlord, it does so much damage. It's actually absurd. I think there was one round where Dbop got hit like with the 20k Storm Owl. and this is challenge mode, kid you not. So you get nuked in this fight if you aren't spamming dispels, if you aren't spamming weaknesses. So even with the convictions and stuff like that, if they make it so you can't use dispels in this fight, honestly, this fight is already like, it's probably gonna turn into like a mess to the point where we're gonna have to make sure people are doing different weaknesses, and we're also gonna have to have like convictions at all times, because the storm mode, it stuns you and it's beastman rules. So in a sense where, hey, if you get stunned, I'm not putting a stun block on you, but you are getting stunned. So he can consistently chain stun if you are not having a dispel or you do not have a conviction up. He will literally just non-stop stun you, unless for some reason you bought the Witchcrafter bundle that recently came out and you have a stun immune build. Hey, I mean, you can be immune to the stuns, but you will still take a lot of storm damage from Mr. Montgomery. So it is crazy when it comes to that. So that's why dispels are very helpful, by having the last person that's in the fight spamming dispels nonstop, and then just having the other 3 people just either just set up a bunch of weaknesses. Like I said, doing trifold and then doing a vampire is really good. What you can also do is just spam regular weaknesses. You can use deadly depths, just basically have like a half deck full of cards, so you can have 50% on your arch mastery via your deck, and then just do deadly depths every couple rounds every time he switches his blades. You can use petrifactions. There's so many things that you can do in these things. So like, it just really comes down to personal preference, how you want to do this fight. Like I said, I was doing vampires, and you can do other ways. I know some people were saying, well, you can use storm shields. We tried using storm shields. He has like 60 pierce or something, like some absurd amount. So even then, just spamming storm shields is, I mean, you could do it, but you're taking more damage. And I feel like using stuff to either convert his blades into weaknesses, or putting weaknesses on him like the -60s with vamps, basically help out the fight a crap ton, just because of the fact that, hey, you are getting one shield versus just multiple weaknesses, and it's just better. So that's another thing. And then, like I said, after 7, I think it's like around 7 rounds or something like that, he basically just kills himself. He basically says, hey, I guess you do have the power, and he decides to just kill himself. So it's basically a survival tactic in this fight. Survive the storm, because it is bringing a storm, or ideally you can say he's trying to buff the storm and you're basically nerfing the storm. Yeah, honestly, the Liam fight, it's pretty interesting. Honestly, it's up there. It's just funny because you can literally say this resembles Liam, because if you don't know who Liam is, he is a content creator via the PvP community. He's very like, he likes Storm. I will say that. He likes Storm, and he does say that Storm needs a buff every time there is an update. He says Storm needs to be buffed every PvP match. He's like, Storm needs to be buffed. If I go on any Discord, he says Storm needs to be buffed. Yeah, Storm definitely needs to be buffed, and we're basically the devs nerfing Storm in this fight. So that is my way of interpreting this fight, and it's funny. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and how to do Mr. Montgomery. If things get changed in this fight, I can definitely go over it in live round, but honestly, I don't think they should tweak this fight because it's already 7 rounds. You can't really excel it. You probably can, but it's kind of tough due to the fact that he ramps up his blades very quickly. So like he even if he started doing dispels of like multiple storm dispels, he has D-Lance in his deck. He has other things in his arsenal. He has an aura. He has Storm Owl. He has all these other things in his deck to just basically nuke you as fast as he can. Yes, his pip chance is very low, surprisingly, which is, I think that's why, so you don't die as quick. But honestly, I think the weakness strat is fine. If I really need to adjust this strat and make it a little bit quicker, I can, just by basically doing what we used to do in the Burrower Key Boss, where we just force Pierce through all of it. And I think it's kind of possible. It's just going to take a while, because you need multiple Pierce blades, and this is advanced combat, keep in mind. So there is that as well. So probably like infouls and stuff like that, and just have the last person non-stop dispel. But this is the way I did it, at least right now on test realm. I think it's pretty good. I don't think they need to tweak it in any sort of way. If they do remove the dispels from the fight, I will change up the strat, but I think the dispels still, even then, the fight is kind of annoying. I mean, we're nerfing Storm. I mean, as much as I love Storm too, but recently I've been on my fire like legit nonstop because Scald Incendiate, and I can't really do Scald Incendiate on a Storm because Storm does not have access to a AoE dot. Unless for some reason I do dual school fire and storm type thing and use Scald TC. Or even a Scald Pet, which I don't even know if it exists or not, but it probably does. So there's that. Overall, hope you guys enjoyed the Liam fight or the Mr. Montgomery fight. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this. I want to see what you guys think about this fight because it's honestly kind of funny that he just dies after 7 rounds and he just nerfs Storm. So I don't know which piece he's going to drop at the moment, but challenge mode should drop a piece of gear. It might be in a Thame, Amulet, Ring, or Deck. At the moment, don't know at the time I recorded this. We'll hopefully know next week in Test Realm or in Live Realm. So be on the lookout for those videos down the line, but at least this preps you guys for what you guys need to do in this fight. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that type of stuff. Join Discord if you guys haven't. Also stop by the Twitch channel whenever, if you guys do want to help me out with when it comes to challenge mode or any other videos I need to record. It's good to have more people that can cycle through and they want to be in the video or just help me out. It's very helpful, so I don't have to quad box all the time. So there's that. So that is it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.